Okay, good evening and welcome to the July 8th Palmer Town Council meeting. Would everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Before we start the meeting, I just want to welcome Chris Pelletier as our new counselor.
Thank you.
I also want to take the opportunity to thank Bob Lavoie for all of his years of service on the town council. And with that, visitors' comments.
Come on, somebody's.
Hello.
Hi.
Dave Golden, Farragon Avenue, and as you can guess, I'm here representing the residents of Farragon and French. It's coming on a year since we started with the Betterment program. We're just looking for an update to get an idea. We stood by while you had the budgeting committees and all that stuff, and now we just want to know when.
Yep, so Brad is working on it. It shouldn't be long. I mean, again, he's been here 2 months and a week,
I understand,
so,
yeah.
but no, it is still, it's on my radar, it's on his radar, so it should be soon.
Those roads are now hazardous.
Okay.
If a emergency vehicle was to go up French from Farragon or come down, there are potholes that are 3 feet wide, 6 to 8 inches deep. They're a danger to automobiles, to walkers, to bikes. So we need to get something.
We'll have
done.
DPW take a look at that too tomorrow, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Seeing none? Okay, first item is minutes from January 8th. Any comments? Have a motion?
So moved.
Second. Phil, second by Carl. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? You want to abstain?
Abstain.
Okay.
You weren't here for any of the minutes,
No.
so you can abstain.
Next is the June 10th minutes. Any comments or changes on those? A motion?
So moved.
Motion by Phil, second by Carl. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstention? One abstention. June 24th. Motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention. June 27th. Any comments? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Phil, second by Carl. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Abstain.
Abstain.
2 abstentions. We have no old business tonight. Well, I guess we technically do, so the ordinance under new business would be old business. So we have ordinance 2025-1, which is the amendment to Chapter 122, Streets and Sidewalks, Article 3, Snow, Debris, Water, and Sediment on Ways and Sidewalks. It's gone through the entire process, and we had our public hearing at the last meeting, so I would be looking for a vote. So do I have a motion to approve ordinance 2025-1?
I'll make a motion.
Motion by Jessica, second by Mark. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yep.
Okay, abstentions? How did you vote? Yes?
4 yes.
Okay, all right. Did you get that, Marlene?
Yeah.
Okay, next item is Resolution 2025-01, which is an ARPA request to purchase a 2025 Western Star 10-wheeled dump plow truck for the DPW in the amount of $349,289. Brad?
Yep, so I'd ask the DPW to come up to give you a quick little background on that. But just a reminder, the 2 ARPA requests are specifically geared for vehicles that would normally fall under our capital plan but because ARPA, the timeline's coming up by the end of December to have the money allocated, we felt the need to really expedite to spend that way we're not turning it back to the federal government. So that's why you'll see the next two requests specifically from ARPA, but normal times without ARPA funds, these will be capital items.
Do we already have these funds earmarked?
We do not, no.
Okay.
Correct.
You can sit down too.
Hey guys, how are you? I could pass this out real quick. This is the DPW 5-year capital plan for our vehicles. It's outlaid till FY29, as you can see. Right in FY25, these two vehicles were already on our capital expenditure plan. But the first one up front is the 2025 Western Star. This is going to replace truck number 9 in our fleet. Truck number 9 is a 2012 International, which has reached the end of its life expectancy. It's got a list of major concerns, and at this time, the cost of these repairs would be expected to surpass the value of the truck. I know it's an expensive truck. These trucks now cost a lot of money, and we understand that. But I believe on this list here, hydraulic lines, the motors, the ball pumps, there's also a cylinder sleeve problem. The dump piston is rusted and leaking. The main wiring harness, the frame is rusted and rotted, and the air tanks have rot holes. So it's time for this truck to retire. I think if you combine these repairs, you're probably up around the $30,000 mark in repairs, where this truck was probably expected to get somewhere around $20,000 on our municipal bid program. At this time, it just doesn't make any sense to put any more money into this truck. I think it's reached the end of its life expectancy.
Any questions?
What is the typical life expectancy of one of these dump trucks?
So depending on how hard it works, usually we base it on 10 years.
Okay.
10 years is usually good, somewhere in between, sometimes even 5 to 15, but I like to go at a 10.
Okay.
So you're saying $30,000 to fix the one that you're trying to replace?
Roughly, yeah.
So in my eyes, I'm not buying the 9 to 10 years for one. I've been driving my whole life. I guess I would like to know what kind of preventive maintenance program is in place, because you know they're all in salt.
Yep.
All the time. Are these trucks being fluid filmed every year? They being washed after the storm? To me, 300.
So that's a great point. You bring this point up is actually, for the last few years, I've been bringing up the point of a DPW facility. We have no wash bay, so we can't properly wash these vehicles right now. My plan that we just came up with, I think next week we're taking delivery of a high pressure warm water
You're finally
pressure
getting
washer.
a high pressure washer.
Yeah, and it comes with the wheels that you can actually roll underneath.
Right.
Because in freezing temperatures, we can't have the guy standing out there with a cold hose, because it
Well,
literally freezes
I
by the
don't
time it
know.
hits.
I've done it in Wales, where we had nothing, and you, the next day you're outside washing the vehicles.
Yeah, so we did work
I
into
disagree
our
with that, but
into our operating budget, and what actually it's getting delivered next week is that new pressure
hot
washer.
pressure
So it'll help
washer,
a little bit.
That's been overdue for like 10
Yes,
years.
Yes.
When Dickie was
So-
here,
And then
we want
also,
to ask for one.
in every spring we fluid film. So after in the spring we give it a deep cleaning and we fluid film every truck. It's just, these are first response vehicles. We're not talking about a truck that gets worked once a week, or, we do a lot of work. These are the tools the guys need to do their jobs. And
Well, I know,
they work hard.
and being in the industry, I drive a 2004. All right, we've replaced transmissions. They've kept it so that the frame doesn't rot. To me, I would rather spend $30,000. You have low mileages on them. Them engines are going to last you forever. There needs to be better. This is rotten, that's rotten. The piston, okay, that's leaking. It's Jackman's not in business no more, but you have a piston rebuilt. Some of that stuff, I think, and I agree, you don't have the facilities that you should have years ago. One of them things should be a wash bay, because I know it's brutal, but I've done it where you go outside the next day and you wash the vehicle. And quite frankly, I don't like the new vehicles they built, you don't have sliding standards, they're all built in, which is more components to go bad. You have all these new fancy electronics that you can't work on. And besides that, also being that it's coming from ARPA, I know you're saying we're trying to spend it in this and that. I haven't been able to allude to different places that you can spend it. Of all the money that we've had, we've only given this town people $50,000 worth of fuel assistance, and it could be earmarked for some of that. So, anyways, get to that point. To me, I just think that stuff could be. Just look around, I guess, to like the people that you subcontract and stuff. What year are their vehicles?
Yeah.
And you there are not regular businesses that are going out and spending $340,000 on a brand new truck. And I think we've kept the DP, they have been rotating them. I remember when you first came, you got rid of that top kick or whatever that sold for a decent price, and somebody took and put the money into that to make that thing last the rest of their lifetime. I just think it's just real easy to say, hey, yeah, we need a new vehicle. Okay, we got this free money from the feds in the states, which it's not. It's taxpayers' money, and I personally would spend the $30,000 on the vehicle, fix it, keep it up. The engine, you got automatic transmissions nowadays. You don't even have manual transmissions, and keep them up.
As my dad would say, and probably you too, they don't make them like they used to, right?
No, they don't. That's what,
They don't.
quite frankly, you could go buy 4 trucks at $60,000 at an auction and have them for the rest of our lives, as long as you upkeep them. But they also need the maintenance place to be able to maintain, to swap out leaf springs or whatever, and
The biggest thing for Public Works, just to keep in mind, is, we could put, say we put $30,000-$40,000 into this truck, we're still not getting a high dependable vehicle. And a lot of people tend to forget, in Public Works, all of our equipment is first response vehicles. I mean, if we're not plowing the roads, the fire trucks,
what
the
would
police,
make it not as dependable?
nobody's going down the road,
If the engine and transmission and your rear ends and your suspension's good and your frame's good, what's making this new vehicle, to me, more dependable than an older one?
Warranty, new, bushings. I mean, even just a simple
All
hydraulic
stuff.
hose. I mean, even a simple hydraulic hose is over $1,000 now. At what point do we say, we've expended this amount of money for this truck, and we've superseded the value of it?
Right, so at 10 years, $34,000. It's costing you $34,000 a year to have that truck.
Yes.
So you spend $30,000 a year to keep up what you have, or when something goes south on the electrical system and this and that, you guys can't diagnose none of this. It has the DEF and all of this. I don't know. That's just me.
I have a question.
Yeah, of course.
Have we looked into leasing vehicles instead of pulling the trigger on $350,000?
Yes, we have. So municipal lease is typically good for setting your budgets. So you can lease the vehicle so that you know your budget for your vehicles in the future. So like next fiscal year, you're going to reset your budget because you've got a lease. But the problem with the municipal leases is they usually incorporate the maintenance, and we've got an in-house mechanic. So I think that price doesn't justify what we need it for. So like this particular truck, say about 10-year lifespan at $350, we're talking about $35,000 a year roughly. To lease this truck would probably be about $42,000. But that would
42,
include,
you say?
yeah, it would
And
probably.
you still have to do the maintenance,
And then, yeah,
tires, brakes, correct?
So, municipal wise, the only thing that it would benefit would be able to set your budget accordingly. Other than that, vehicle wise, I think we're getting a much better deal by actually owning it outright.
So leasing a town vehicle doesn't work like you or I going out and leasing a vehicle, keeping it for 5 years, then turning it in and getting a new vehicle. all the lease, it's a lease purchase program. So instead of putting out the money, either borrowing the money up front to say, okay, this vehicle's gonna cost $350,000, we're either gonna pay cash for it, or we're gonna borrow the money. That's all that lease does, is they will loan us the money. It's simpler, it's a simpler process than going out and borrowing through a bank for a town to do a lease program, but you don't trade it in after 5 years or 7 years. You're leasing it to buy it. So it's a little different if you were thinking.
So like the last year, let's say, you can buy it for $1.
Well, there's always the option to buy it, I understand that, but to pour out, I just don't find $350,000 for a dump truck is something that the town is in the business of buying something like that. That's just my initial opinion on this, and I think that there might be better ways to serve the town than spending $350,000 on a dump truck, where we could maintain it. I mean, how old's the dump now?
9 years.
2012.
And to his point, 9 years old. Look around you. Look at the local contractors. How old are their dump trucks that they're driving? And they're still, first, as you say, first responders. I understand. You want the thing to start up and go. I get it. But to spend $350,000, that's an awful lot of money.
So the price, I mean, I don't dictate the price. The price is under state contract, and the price is the price.
No, oh yeah, I get.
You know what I mean? The price doesn't come from me.
No, yeah.
You said you have a mechanic there?
What's that?
You have a mechanic
We do,
there?
yeah.
What does he do on a typical day?
Oh, we got a lot of work to do.
A lot.
Yeah.
So Phil.
I'm glad to
Phil,
see. I've walked down there and seen that
Based-
you've gotten rid of the old wooden ramps that Joey used to lay
We
under.
got safety lifts now, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
So Phil, based on the items that he listed, do you have that in front of you?
I couldn't read it. If I did, I ain't got my
Okay,
glasses.
so
but
hydraulic lines, motors are rotted, plow pump is bad, engine smokes, gaskets, inner sleeve issues, dump piston is rusted and leaking, main wiring harness is corroded, frame is rusted and rotted, air tanks have rot holes. So that's on the one we're talking about right now. So, but then the reason I'm asking is, so did you see the pictures that were in the
I
package?
haven't. I wanted to get down there today and actually go and physically look and see how
I did
So-
send along a whole bunch of pictures.
distraught
Yeah,
that.
I tried.
Again, I don't have my
So-
glasses, but
so-
I mean,
so
I
Phil,
know I've worked
but
on the
can
trucks
you-
at the DPW up there. I've replaced the air tanks; they're pretty cheap. The piston, but the one thing that is sour is once your frame is rotted, you can't get away with patching it. You can't patch that frame
Even just
legally.
the main wiring harness. I mean, the one main wiring harness could be up to $10,000 on a repair.
Right.
Phil, could you just come over here and look at these pictures and tell me if this is something that is, you can use my
If you need
glasses.
anyone-
I know it's probably has got past the
I
point.
know a guy.
That's the
But
point I'm trying to
I
make.
just
Actually,
want, I
two
want to
of them.
know.
Are these
what-
regular glasses or
They're
reading?
reading glasses. So this is the one.
Replace it.
What do you know? What's that?
Bushings can be replaced. The frame, unless it's got rot holes in it. I don't know. To me,
So those
I'm
are-
old school.
So those
Fix
are the
it.
pictures for that one, and then.
Well, let's
oh,
go back. I
sorry.
want to see the whole truck itself. Body's not falling off it. Cab mounts are decent, right? So you replace. I don't know.
And then
It's just too easy to always let's replace it versus, and again, give the mechanics. You know,
So
that's a pickup.
Yeah,
That's-
that's going to be the next one we talk about, but while you're here.
And there's the cab mount shot on that, so that's toast unless you want to start doing cab mounts. I get that, you know, but again, moving forward is they need a better place to be able to catch and stop that stuff from happening.
no, I
'Cause
understand.
any other person in business is not going to let that. Like I say, I drive a 2004. Other than the fire we had in it last year. And we had to replace the harness. But the harness, and I'll give you that, the harness for that vehicle versus what harnesses you're dealing with now are totally mind-numbing,
Yeah, it's crazy.
you know?
So I don't agree with you that the life of this vehicle is 10 years. I think it's much longer than that.
Should be 30.
So I mean, I definitely, but I
But
also.
you also have to have the tools to be able to make that happen. you know.
So, I mean, the hose system that you're purchasing, where are those vehicles going to be cleaned? Like, where are you going to do it?
At the DPW.
And do we know that there's not like wetland around there or anything that's going to make it so that that can't happen?
It's already
Right by
flooded.
the river.
It's already flood zone.
No, it's not a foot.
No,
No,
so this
it's-
is also part of the DPW facility. I mean, we're washing salty trucks right next to the river. We're in a flood zone.
Right, so maybe we shouldn't, we probably should not be washing them there. We should be taking them somewhere else, and we should find another place where we can do that, is my point. I mean, obviously, we should be washing them, like, that's half of our problem of this rot. Do we do anything with, like, having an undercarriage treatment?
Yeah, fluid film every spring.
So we are doing that? Because it seems like over the years, a lot of our vehicles are rotting through the floor. So isn't that what that undercarriage?
It's the salt. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I think that's really important that we start doing that.
Well, he's just finally getting, and I remember when Dickie was here, I asked him, you guys got a pressure one? You don't even have, you ain't spent the money on whether it's electric or diesel powered, heated power washer. How do you expect them to be able to get that road? So especially nowadays, they also, I don't know, you spray the roads too, right?
Yep.
And that stuff's even twice as bad.
It's just the road salt that's extremely corrosive.
So
Yeah.
we're looking for a vote, right?
Yeah, but I just want to say, we rely on you and your team to bring forward information to us so that we can fund things. And so there would be no way for me sitting here and probably others at this table to know that we didn't have the ability to spray off our vehicles. So that was never, Phil might have known that from, previous DPW director. I asked that question when I saw the pictures of, like, are we spraying these off? Because obviously it doesn't look like we are based on the amount of corrosion. I just think that it's really important that we come up with what are the tools that are needed so that when we make an investment of over $300,000 on something, we're getting the longest life as we possibly can. Because, as Phil said, and I understand a difference of trucks and mileage doesn't equate, like, I get all that.
Right, that's especially why it should last forever, because it's a local truck, it gets dirt for mileage, the thing's probably barely broke in, that engine, in a diesel truck. Diesels were made to start and never shut them off, quite frankly. And so the mileage in your transmission, I know you got automatics, I'm a manual kind of guy, they make them so anybody can drive them. But giving them the tool, like I said, I remember, and I can't put, and shame on me for not pushing to make sure that you guys got a hot power washer. And I remember asking Dickie, and he's saying, well, I want one, but I don't want to ask because I know I'm probably not going to get it. And so shame on us for not
That was a really long
giving
time
them the
ago.
tools to have a good heated power washer. And I know it's brutal, but I've done it outside. You suit up and get out there and do it.
So then my other issue with this is the availability of the vehicles. And so I'm being told that it's 18 to 24 months. What are you being told on this?
Western Star is coming from ATG in Westfield. They said about an 8-month build. Should expect maybe about March, April.
March or April?
It's the max. The max are like a year or 2 years out.
What engine?
Not sure.
Who specs the truck for you?
Rich, and he works with ATG out of Westfield.
Cummings.
Cummins, okay.
Good morning.
Yep,
09, 370 horse.
just found it. Do you have questions?
No, you guys answered all my stuff.
Anybody else have questions? Okay.
What's it cost? Let's say you don't have that truck. What's it cost you a year? Because I mean, last year was really, I thought, a mild winter, but we still hired outside contractors to plow. And what are you spending on an outside contractor to plow in the course of a year?
Last year wasn't a lot. I think we were, well, I don't know the exact number. I'll have to get back to you on that. But last year was pretty mild, and our whole fund only went over, I think, by like 29,000.
Right?
So we had pretty mild last year, but the year before was a little heavier.
No, I'm just saying, is it cheaper to actually just hire an outside local person, let them make a living?
How many
No, because-
vehicles do we have of this size? We have
Three
three,
10-wheelers and I think six 6-wheelers.
and everybody, because do they need a special license to drive this
They
one?
do, yep.
And so how many people in our department have, or in your department have?
Class
License?
A's?
Yeah,
All of them, except for 2 in parks. We also utilize 3 in the wastewater department plow for us.
okay, so everybody with the exception of 2 people can drive this vehicle? Okay.
They're Class A licenses?
Class B, yep.
Class B?
Class B's, you know.
Okay, so they can't, once they hook a trailer to it, they can't.
Right. Once you have a
utilize it.
trailer that exceeds
Right.
the GVR, yeah.
It puts it over 26,000.
Like if we're
GVRs.
hauling the Mini or something, we only have a select few that use a CDR.
Right. It has to have an A.
Okay, anything else? Do I have a motion? I have no motion?
I motion.
Okay. I'll second the motion, just so we can take a vote.
All right, that's
How
fine.
about that? Okay. All in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.
I think you should come back with, I think you should like find out exactly what needs to be, done to the vehicle.
For
And
the sake of
whether-
conversation, what are the other 2 vehicles? What are they like? What years are those,
Other two
those
what?
guys? The other 210?
I don't have the whole.
One of them's only a
There's
couple,
the
3 years.
2016.
I didn't bring the whole list, but I
Correct.
got a
There's a
10-wheel dump, a 2016, looking for a replacement in FY 28.
Yeah, I know that one of them's only a couple, 3 years old. So that one needs to be, like I say, they need to give these people, and I love DPW stuff and road stuff, but we need to give them the stuff they need to be able to upkeep on these, because the more you go into the future, unless he's able to bring in people to work, because something goes south with your electrical system, you're sending it, correct?
Well, no, not on the new trucks. Well, it's got to get sent anyway because
To an
it'll
extent,
be
you're-
under manufacturer warranty.
Yeah, you're sending it out because the mechanic that you have doesn't have the computer or the laptop to plug into the thing
Right.
and the programs to read what's, it's a sensor or whatever that's actually bad that doesn't want to make the truck run, and
So Matt and I will get together, we'll put what a 5-year window looks like for this vehicle and what the cost will be behind it to get it up to speed, and we'll bring it back to the council to review both options.
Yeah, and I think it would be really helpful. I know you sent us something that had like the vehicles, but it would be helpful to have like them grouped by like, so the type, right? And so you could literally look and like, so like the one you're asking us to replace, how many others are comparable to that? And then what are the years, right? And I saw that like the condition was on it, but you literally have to scroll up and down to find like which ones are DPW, which ones are, so if you can put that together,
Put them in a little better order.
a little better order so that we can literally see like what do we have. And then also like, so to the question which I think Phil asked is when we have a storm, so if we have three of those vehicles, right, which is this one is still on the road, or is it not roadworthy?
It's going to be probably not going to be running this winter unless we put money into it that I don't have in the operating budget.
All right, well, I think we just need more information to, like, it's not I don't think this is dead in the water yet. I think we just need a little bit more information. But I think we need to know stuff like, so if we have 3 vehicles, how many, when there's a storm, we have those 3, like, what goes out on a storm? And then how many contractors are we also having to call out? And are they driving those type of vehicles, or are they just driving the smaller dump trucks? Because I know like where I live, it's mostly like the smaller vehicles that are plowing. So I think that we need an understanding of like
how the
how,
operation.
how the operation works, how those vehicles are utilized, so that if we're gonna make,
P&H is using the 10-wheelers.
So we use 10-wheelers, just, so you know, the 10-wheelers, because they're bigger and they hold more weight, we use the 10-wheelers farther from the base because they have a longer route, so they can carry more salt
Right,
without
they're
having
not
to
trying to
come
chase back and forth to the,
Right.
yeah, I totally get that and understand, you know, you're filling that thing up and it's making it all the way over to the
Yeah,
Belchertown
Whiskey
line in
Hill,
the
Old Warren
backwoods.
Road. You
Well,
know,
I
if we
think-
sent the 6-wheeler out, it'd be out by the time it got there and have to turn back around.
Right.
okay, so I think if you can get just that type of information, I think it would be helpful moving forward, okay?
Brad, could you also, I don't remember what we already bought
Oh, yeah.
and what we had allocated or voted
ARPA?
on.
No, just
No.
last year we bought some new
Last
vehicles.
2 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We bought a lot of
Yeah, the
vehicles.
last 2 years, yep.
But I think when you put that list together, it'll be helpful because we'll see the year that we purchased it and what we purchased, okay?
The whole vote, not everybody voted.
There was no, yeah, it was all opposed.
All opposed.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just,
Yeah, it's okay. Okay, next item is Resolution 2025-02, which is for a 2024 Ford F-350 to replace a 2012 Chevy 2500. $70,445.
And the one they're replacing is the other picture you showed me, correct?
Yeah.
So this truck will not pass inspection. It's off the road.
I went past it from the pictures I seen.
No, it won't pass. It's dead in the water. Not only that, transmission's about 8,000. Far supersedes the value of this truck at this point. This truck, like I said, is mainly used, it pulls trailers with equipment, hauls tools, basic transportation. We snowplow some smaller lots like the senior center. And again, this truck has reached the end of its life expectancy, and it has a list of major concerns.
It's a 2500,
Yeah, Chevy 2500.
And this price is the.
and that's what
the
you're gonna
total-
replace it with, a 2500?
Replacing with a Ford F-350.
Okay,
The reason being is we were gonna spec it out to a Ford 250, so stay with the 2500 range. But when we spec'd it out to the state contract, it was 69,000, or the F-350 was 70,000, a difference of $1,200. I thought $1,200, if we were gonna spend it, would have had a much heavier duty truck, better overall performance, upgraded suspension, and a much higher towing and payload capacity. for-
that's just what I was getting at, is like, why are you towing stuff with a 2500? You should be, realistically, I wonder what a 450 would, you know,
Yeah.
if you're hauling, I know the Mini that you guys got and stuff, something like that. I mean, you're beating up on a 350 where a 550 is what you really need to be hauling that piece of equipment around, quite frankly.
So back to the undercarriage treatment. So you just have money in your budget to do that?
Yeah, we do that on the maintenance, yep, fluid film.
Okay.
And our mechanic does it in-house.
All right, do I have a motion to approve this?
Second.
Okay, motion by Phil, second by Carl. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
6-0.
all right.
Obviously, they're not taking them as a trade-in, correct? They're auctioning that thing off or something.
It can, but sometimes I feel like we'll actually get a better price on our municipal bidding website.
Chevy, so it's a Duramax.
Thanks, Matt.
Good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
you too.
Too. Thanks.
Okay, next item is town council approval for bill. The bill number is different than what's on the agenda. It's 4688, which is an act authorizing the town of Palmer to grant 3 additional licenses for the sale of all alcohol beverages. Brad, do you have anything on that?
No, this was prior to me starting. This was already approved by the council. This is just a slight change to one of the names or the addresses.
Addresses.
One of the addresses. So that's the only change.
Okay. Do you have a motion to approve?
Oh, just one question. Is that the Jane Alden's one also in there?
No.
No.
How's that
We
one?
couldn't add that in.
No.
I asked.
Yeah, because we have a couple outstanding that we wanted to add into one big package, and they said, no, it has to be separate. So keep with the 3 that you already had approved, and we had to come to the council for another vote later
Are they
on.
gonna be approved in eventually?
We're gonna bring it to the council to vote on it to follow the same exact process.
Thank you.
Did I have a motion and a second? Okay,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions? I think it was Phil and Carl, but I'm not really sure originally. I'm not
It
sure.
don't much
Doesn't
matter.
I can't, it doesn't matter, but I can't remember if we had one.
It was me
And
and
it was all in favor?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Department Head Report, Bill Fenner, Building Inspector.
How's everybody doing?
How are you?
Good.
Thank
So,
you.
Have a
So,
good 4th of July.
not too bad. I wanted to take a little time today to explain where my powers come from for enforcement through the building code. So you've all been given handouts from, thank you, Marlene.
This is long, there might be. No.
So, in the general regulations under 780 CMR is what empowers the building official to do things like notices of orders, do inspections. Some of the things are unlawful acts, notices of violations, and then our general section, which is MGL 143, Section 148, and 148A, and which is the building code and the fire code. And then there's some other information on there for you for violations and penalties and whatnot. The second part, what I want to speak to about is issuance of non-criminal tickets. I know a couple of months ago this came up. There was some questions. I think Phil had a question in regards to it. The 2 tickets that were actually in question are attached to your packets. So the premise behind the non-criminal tickets came to basically to save the town some money. Any enforcement that's done under the building code, it's first appealed to the building board appeals. If it goes further than that, it costs the town money. And it now becomes a criminal act. So to the acts of 2004, which is the 304 acts which is our non-criminal ticketing, allows for the building official to write a citation for any item that's in the building code, as well as the fire inspector. Respectively, 143 for building code, 148 for the fire code. This is really designed as a means to get, ultimately, to get people to follow the rules. Most of the building code is on the premise that most people are going to do the right thing. But when they don't, we need to have a path to be able to make sure that they do. So if you look at the tickets that was given, first offense. So one of the things you need to understand is that both of these tickets were written to a professional contractor. This isn't a homeowner. This is someone who should absolutely know Chapter 1 of the building code inside and out. It's part of their training. It's something that they get trained on every time they have to renew their licenses. And each of the individual, so in this particular case, they were issued a citation for starting work without a building permit. Subsequently, a second ticket was issued to them for commencing work again without permits, because at that point the permit had still not been issued, a stop work order, notice of violation, and unlawful continuance. So the fees for these are first offense is $100 per violation, second offense is $500, and third offense is $1,000 per violation per day. These rates are not set by the individuals. This is set from the state law. It's part of the MGL that allows this power to happen. It is not something that I view as that it it should not be weaponized. It should be used for getting compliance and nothing more. And so far, we've had pretty good success. With these 2 tickets, along with that, there's a 3rd page that's attached that basically has the appeals process. We have 21 days to appeal. And in this particular case, the contractor did not appeal it.
They didn't get it.
I have 2.
We didn't get the
Oh, sorry.
It wouldn't photocopy.
Okay, you
right?
can tell the story.
She couldn't photocopy it. No. You can pass that one around. So there's a 21-day period that they have to appeal. Brad is our town's hearings officer. We've had a couple of hearings, and tickets have been reduced slightly. Again, this is strictly a means of getting compliance. Any questions?
Nope, I got to read all this, you know, as I had told the lady, you know, there's always 2 sides to a story. And sometimes I need to relax, which I probably wasn't so relaxed, but, so, forgive me for that, but, yeah, there's always 2 sides to the story. Somebody comes in here and goes off, and until, you know, you get the other side of the story to be able to make it. So, I'm good. I got to read everything that you had sent, and
No question though, what is the process? So someone comes into your office to apply for whatever type of permit. And then it goes, I'm assuming you put the information into the, your permitting software, and then it goes to the different, departments
to sign
that
off.
need to sign off. So when the person initially comes in, what are they told? Like, so are you taking their fee? Do they think that, I guess, what's the conversation? So I come in, I want a permit to, you know, do whatever.
So if it's a homeowner or contractor, the fee is paid up front.
Okay,
If they're doing it in person. If it's being done online, the fee is actually calculated and sent off to them after the fact. So there's 3 pieces that have to be met. So there needs to be a complete application with payment. Payment alone does not constitute issuance of the permit. So if someone comes in and says, well, I paid and they cashed the check, okay, yes, you did, but no permit is valid until it bears the signature of the building official. So until the permit has actually been issued, yeah, you can pay for it. A lot of towns get paid up front for permit fees. The new system that we're probably at about 65 to 70% online now, which makes things a little more streamlined. So an application will come in, I'll look at it, I'll send it off to, first of all, it goes to the tax collector. Chapter 40, Section 57 allows us, because we've adopted the charter, to withhold all building permits, licenses, and what said, if there's any property tax owned, not just on the parcel that they're applying for, but if that owner owns property elsewhere, it can actually be held for
but
that.
let's back up a second. So I come in and I want a permit, and I give you my $100, whatever kind of permit, okay? And then you have to go through the process of getting all the approvals from the whatever departments are involved. So what am I told at that point? So I fill out paperwork, I'm assuming, like the permit application, right? I give you my $100, and then what am I told at that point?
So if they're doing it in person, they're always given the option to take the paperwork down, to have our treasurer
Sign
and signed off.
Okay.
Then they know immediately. If it goes into the system, usually the next day it gets processed. Emily gets everything into the system. Then it gets sent off so Emily will enter it and actually send it off for approvals. One of the snags that we're working through right now is to get the approvals done quicker. Because I don't want to lose the traction that we've gained by getting online. And we have some things that we need to work through right now.
Okay.
But typically they're told, the law says I have 30 days to issue or deny. Honestly, most roofing, siding, windows, the basic, what we call a BR permit, is usually a day or 2. sometimes even that day if it's something very simple.
Okay, so let's just back up again. So I do that. I come in, I walk down, I bring you back that it's signed off, my taxes are good. And then what happens after you go through the process? You call me to tell me my permit's ready?
Yes.
Okay, and if I do it through the online portal, how do I get?
They'll get a notification through the portal
Through the
saying that the
portal.
permit's been issued, as well as a follow-up call from Emily saying that the permit's ready to be picked up.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question. It's totally off from this, just to educate me. I know people that have been building houses, and I know I guess the codes are set by the state, correct? And it's adding extra cost to these people. Look, they don't have an electric vehicle, but they have to install the stuff to be able to charge an electrical vehicle in their house now. They have to have a hookup so that you can hook up solar to it, whether they want it or not. So what is, like, council, to me, quite frankly, if you don't want that, why should I have to be paying extra money to put that in my house? Because my reasoning is it adds nothing to the structural integrity of the house. It's just something that people are being forced to do against their will.
So the provisions that you're talking about are done under DOER, it's Department of Energy. They're the ones that were tasked with writing the latest version of the stretch energy code. So effective January 1st of last year is when the energy code bumped up again, and it does require that they have to have pre-wired for a EV charger, not the charger, just prep for it.
Right.
It requires that they have to have solar ready on the roof, and all that really simply means is that there's a designated area that's drawn on the print that says that no pipes, vents, and whatnot can come through that area. So it doesn't really, there's no cost associated to that. It's the architect or the contractor just drawing a square box that's 300 square feet.
Well, it is if you're wiring up for an electrical.
You're not. Well, the only thing that's additional cost is the EV plug.
Okay.
The EV plug is. This is one of the things you have to understand. The building officials have been tasked with, the only way that we can get rid of that as a town is we have to vote to get out of the green communities. We have to vote to go back to a base code. The base code, it is not in there. But with that said, in conjunction with the 10th edition, which is coming very soon, it will be back in there because our current the last stretch energy code that we were just in, that ended July 1st, had that in it. That wordage is actually now going to be the base code for all the towns.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's like, it's nothing that improves the structural integrity of your house, but you are being forced to spend money to do something you don't want. And obviously, if people know me, I'm just like totally like, who are you to tell me that I've got to do this for something that I'll never, somebody buys that house and they want to let them put it in.
Yep.
Quite frankly, so
that would have to be appealed.
Again, your freedom of choice is being taken, which has no, again,
unfortunately,
structural integrity of the house.
It's not within my power.
No, I know. I was just trying to get myself
we're gonna do
educated.
this, we're not going to do that.
I'm just trying to get myself educated on which you told me how to get rid of it, but it's not going to matter because they're going to.
It can be appealed to the state. So if you came and applied for a permit, I could deny it, and you could appeal it to the Board of Building Appeals, which is part of the BBRS.
Right.
And they could say, yeah, no. So we've actually had 2 people in town that have appealed the energy code in older homes. It is very difficult to get an 1800s home or early 1900s home to pass the new energy code.
Yeah, try that, Mike.
So the appeals board has very, very graciously been issuing appeals left and right. They weren't happy about the way the energy code came into play. They had no part.
Right.
So we're, as I mentioned, we're coming into our 10th edition soon. So this actually started in 2021. We'll be adopting the 2021 code. It took us 3 years to get to this point because there's committees and subcommittees, and there's checks and balance on every end to make sure that our code's not interfering with the electrical code, plumbing code, and whatnot. DOER unfortunately did not have to do that because they're under legislation. So,
Imagine that.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, you, okay, anything else for Bill? Okay, thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.
thank you.
Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Okay, next, we have Department Head Report, Marlene Johnson from the COA.
Hello, everyone. Alrighty, this is the report for the Senior Center for FY '24. The 2020 census showed that there are 3,446 seniors in the town of Palmer and the villages of Palmer. Of that, we provided direct and indirect services for 1,788 unduplicated seniors throughout the year. A outreach, I'm just going to give it to you by department, which is much easier. Outreach, we had 635 unduplicated seniors who received services through the center's outreach program. A total of 1,097 duplicated service units, which include Knox boxes, housing, family support, insurance, nutrition, cell phone use, medical, home care, nursing home, elder abuse, utilities, and support services. So a whole umbrella of services that our outreach coordinator provides for our seniors. We have an Are You OK phone call program where we have a volunteer who does the tax rebate, the work-off program. Last year she had 24, well, last fiscal period, she had 24 unduplicated seniors and made 362 phone calls. The center still provides breakfast Tuesdays and Thursdays. We receive breakfast from Pathfinder. In the summer, we just got our inspection done, so our program coordinator, she's served safe, so she can cook for us. Just basic things, bacon, eggs, orange juice, stuff of that nature. And then we receive our meals Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays from Greater Springfield Senior Services, a hot meal. We served 3,224 meals for lunch and 76,200 for our breakfast. Our transportation, we have 2 vans. Actually, we just received another van that we're leasing from PVTA. We'll pick that up within a few weeks. And we serviced 3,818 rides, which includes both vans in our senior volunteer driver program. I'm a little trying to be precise here with the numbers, Marlene, because I know you're writing, but I can send you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll send you the exact ones, yes. We provide brown bag, which we provided 852 bags. We receive, this year, we received Seesaw from DNR Farms for our seniors to get 10 weeks of fruit and vegetables. And we have 35 seniors signed up for that. We receive, and we will be receiving 50 farmer market coupon books, which are valued at $50 each, which equals $2,500. And that is pretty much all the numbers. We have 18 volunteers who donated their time of 2,182 hours to the senior center, which equals 178,000, worth of services. That is through our the work-off program. We have 18 seniors who actually go above and beyond those hours, as you know, as stated for their allotment of the 750. That's it. Any other questions? Any questions? Yes.
I heard you do breakfast and stuff. I've dropped them off before. Can I still drop off eggs to you?
Yes, you can. Thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Sometimes I get an influx of them, and
Yep.
the neighbors haven't come.
Yep.
Okay.
We appreciate that.
Anything else for Marlene? Okay, thank you. You're going to stay here, though, I'm assuming, or are you?
Yes,
Yeah.
we're-
Okay,
exactly.
so the next item on the agenda is the Age and Dementia Friendly Action Plan. Becky Bosch and Marlene. It will be approval to submit the Community Assessment and Action Plan to AARP, and approval of the resolution to be signed by the chair in support of the Age and Dementia Friendly Pioneer Valley.
Hi, everyone. I'm Becky Bosch. I'm a principal planner in health and land use at Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. And I worked with a task force through the senior center and including other members of other departments, including the librarian, a few other people to develop this community assessment and action plan. And you should have received an executive summary. Okay. This action plan follows the comprehensive plan, which we also included some outreach to older residents. So there are many goals and objectives in the comprehensive plan that was passed by the town and received an award. So this action plan follows up on that. It includes some of the goals and objectives that were in the comprehensive plan in the appendix, but it also fills in some areas that were not included in the comprehensive plan. So more areas of like the social environment, support for people with dementia, and support for people aging in place. So some things that wouldn't normally be included in the comprehensive plan. So what we are looking for, the town has been designated as an age-friendly community, and that says that the town will develop this community assessment and action plan and submit it to AARP. So I'm looking for approval from the council to submit the report to AARP and also to the Massachusetts Council on Aging dementia-friendly designation. I understand the council did sign a pledge, I believe, last fall for the dementia-friendly designation, so that part's been done. So we just want to submit the report to complete this process. And so that's the first part of it. The second part is a resolution in support of designating the whole region as an age and dementia-friendly region. We have currently, I think at least half the towns have become age and dementia-friendly, so we want to just support this work throughout the region. And it also says that whenever we do regional plans or help towns with municipal plans, that we'll do an engagement process with older adults, because it is an aging population. We want to, build the awareness and just make all the communities safe and supportive for people of all ages. So I'm happy to answer any questions, or the executive summary you received includes the top 2 recommendations from each section. There's a larger plan that will be submitted that I believe you should have received a link to that online. And that includes the results of the survey that were done during the plan process, and also the goals and objectives from the comprehensive plan that are related to these different aspects of an age and dementia-friendly community.
Any questions?
Yeah. If someone is looking for assistance in that, do they go to her office and she could set them straight to you or your organization?
Yeah, you would probably go to the senior center. They have all the support services for seniors.
I guess that was my only question, is what actual services are being rendered.
What do you do for them, he means?
Well, it depends. If you call, if you need open enrollment, it starts October 1st. For 60 and older, you can call the senior center, make an appointment with our outreach coordinator, who will help you pick your insurance, what programs you need. If you need fuel assistance, we can direct you, fill out applications to receive that. We, if you would like to receive monthly brown bag, we can fill out applications for you. So really, actually, what we do is we're like the starting point. It depends what you need. If we can help you, we can help you. We really can't do applications for Social Security. That, takes another, entity to do that. But anything else that you need, and if
Like you do assistance with them, like, crossword, mine, helping games to slow down the progression of that. I know a little bit about
yeah,
it.
we do. Yeah,
That's
with
why I
dementia.
buy
With
the
that.
scratch tickets, the crossword ones.
Well, I think what the
Verizon.
comprehensive plan states is that we will provide activities that are centered around people who are caretakers of dementia, who do have some form of dementia. Like we received a grant these past 4 months. We used a grant for a memory cafe. It was really successful to the point where we're going to keep going on a monthly basis with this memory cafe. We ended up reaching out, and it may not seem a lot to some, but there were 3 couples, 3 wives with their husbands that came to this on a regular basis, and they said that they're going to continue to come. But we have, we're like the third party. We can direct them where we need to, whether it's the Alzheimer's Association or the caretaker needs a little extra for their parents. So we send them to Greater Springfield Senior Services.
You're like
So
a
we just-
respite and
Yeah, we just know all the
Response.
places, and if we don't know, we're more than willing to look online for people
Very
who
good.
need that service.
thank you.
Okay. I just have one question for you. What's the reason that this report lumps together age and dementia? Because, having read the report, it really deals more with age-friendly as opposed to dementia-friendly, and I feel like, the whole issue of dementia is so, it's just a realm of its own. I mean, while I understand that people who have dementia are typically elderly, although that's not necessarily true, it just seems that this report is more to an age-friendly report, and having a parent that has dementia, there's really nothing in here that helps a person that is trying to, go down that path and know what to do in this report. So why is it that they're combined when there's really nothing in here for dementia?
There's more in the longer report. The dementia part of it is really about building awareness in the community, with businesses, municipal offices, to recognize signs of dementia and know how to communicate with people with dementia. Also to provide support programs for caregivers and people with dementia, and sort of just trying to build awareness throughout the process. It's estimated that 1 in 3 people will have dementia over the age of 85. So that's why it is a part of aging, and it's becoming more and more prevalent. The actual support services for people with dementia, the senior center's doing the memory cafe. I believe the Bay State Wing is starting to do more with people with dementia as well. But it's, on the municipal level, it's a bit limited what you can do. You can design built environments for people with dementia. There's checklists for businesses, interior and exterior type furnishings, using contrasting colors and that kind of thing. But there's quite a lot of resources out there. But at the municipal level, it's really about building awareness and making sure that support services are in place as much as you can. So.
Well, I'd like to know what those support services are, because I think they're non-existent, to be perfectly honest. And I really hope that we can kind of aim into the dementia part of it, because it is a growing issue. Again, speaking for myself, is very difficult to maneuver the process. So I just think that these should be two separate components personally. But thank you for answering my question.
And how are you saying raising awareness? What are they doing to raise awareness to businesses? And
the Alzheimer's Association does a lot of trainings for emergency service providers, bus drivers. It's really just recognizing the signs, and also, just people in the community. I mean, I went to one of these when I was starting this work and instantly recognized something in my aunt and took her to a neurologist. It's just like, getting that sort of those little details of seeing the signs and knowing what to do to follow up with that. But yeah, and then I think you guys are doing some more.
And I think what when someone calls, Cindy, our outreach coordinator, is very good at asking a lot of precise questions. Where's your parent live, or where do you live, if they're talking to a spouse. And, just different conversations that they have. What are you actually looking for? Are you looking for, so let's say they say we're looking for some housekeeping. Then, well, what is going on? Did they just get out of surgery? Did they just get out of the hospital? No, they didn't. We're finding that they're having some memory loss. And then once that conversation takes place, we're able at the senior center then to direct you, like I said before. So we would have them contact the Alzheimer's Association. Or if they needed some extra help, we would ask them to contact Greater Springfield Senior Services, because they're the ones who provide those kind of services, and they can also direct them to go other places as well. We have a rapport with the assisted living up in Ware, the new one that just opened, the one in Belchertown, the memory care. And we have a relationship with all the senior housing as well. So if someone needs senior housing for their parents.
Yeah, they would have to be trained, even a housekeeper, because they get mad a lot that they don't remember, and they maybe have to learn self-defense. They might strike out at them. And
well, a lot of it's about trying not to argue. Just be calm. Be wherever they're at, and try to just be.
One last question. You said this all gets also sent to AARP. What is their involvement?
They designate communities as age-friendly, and then they can also provide support services, trainings for different types of these sectors. They also work with the state. The state's working on an age-friendly action plan as well. So, trying to build services at the state level, provide assistance to towns that are working on zoning, for accessory apartments, stuff like that. So they provide some technical assistance, but this age-friendly designation is through AARP, and the dementia-friendly designation is through Mass Council on Aging. And it's just, putting it on the map, showing that you're working toward making the town, more supportive of healthy aging.
So do I have a motion to approve and submit to the Community Assessment and Action Plan to AARP? Motion by Carl, second by Chris. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next, do I have a motion to approve the resolution in support of the Age and Dementia-Friendly Pioneer Valley? Motion by Carl,
Second.
second by Jessica. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Next items on the agenda, there's a whole bunch of appointments, and if everyone has reviewed them and everyone is okay with it, I'd like to just take one vote as opposed to separate votes. Unless if somebody has any like opposition to one or a conflict or anything, I can pull them out. Otherwise, I'd like to go through them. Does that work for everybody?
Yep.
Perfect.
Okay, so Robin Lamoth to the Historical Commission with a term ending June 30, 27. Michael Korzick to the Historical Commission, term ending June 30th, 26. Richard Fickett to the Board of Registrars, term ending 6/30/27. Valerie Wadika to the Board of Registrars, term ending June 30, 27. Larry Jazak to the Board of Assessors, term ending 6/30/27. Donald Blaze to the Conservation Commission, term ending 6/30/27. Naomi Ellis to the Conservation Commission, term ending 6/30/27. Tyler Allen to the Cultural Council, term ending 6/30/27. Bessa Lazo to the Cultural Council, term ending 6/30/27. Lisa Newton to the Cultural Council with a term ending 6/30/27. David Rose to the Licensing Commission, term ending 6/30/27. Robert Frederick to the License Commission, term ending 6/30/26. Paul Bernard to the Board of Health, term ending 6/30/27. Michelle Ramey to the DBA, term ending 6/30/25. Dennis Fountain to the ZBA, term ending 6/30/27. Ingrid Thompson to the ZBA, term ending 6/30/27. I apologize if I said anyone's name wrong. Do you have a motion to approve the list as written? Second, motion by Phil, second by Carl. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. Next is fiscal 25 town meeting schedule review. So Brad put a schedule together for us. And yeah, it's okay. I think this is a good to like plan for these dates, unless anybody sees anything right now that is an issue. But subject to the chair and the town manager deciding if a meeting needs to be moved for any reason. But per the charter, it's the first Monday of every month, unless there's a holiday, which of course there's a lot of them that affect our meetings usually. Yeah.
The
So-
second Monday specifically.
Second Monday.
I just know I won't be
Or
here for the
second Monday, I'm
September.
sorry.
I won't be here for the September meeting, but that's fine.
All right, so does anybody have any issues with that for the time being? Okay, perfect. So discussion of council rules. So we'll discuss them at the next meeting, but if everybody could look at the council rules that are in your packet, just review them. If there's anything that you feel needs to be changed or updated, we can do that at the next meeting. And then we have discussion council subcommittees. So that was not in our packet, I don't believe. Or is it?
The subcommittees.
Oh, yes,
are
it
in
is. Okay, I'm sorry, yes. So, again, this will be for the next meeting, but these are the current subcommittees that we have. I don't know, Brad, if there's any others that you feel that we should have. But if before the next meeting, if you guys could email me and let me know which ones you're interested in serving on, and then I will try to put everybody where they need to be. And then Chris, we can talk offline if you have questions on any of this stuff. It would probably be good to just kind of get you up to speed. Okay. And then I don't know, like Green Communities, I don't even know if we need that anymore. So I would be looking for you to do that. And also the PVTA Advisory Board, reaching out to Ben to see if he's still interested in that. Okay. Okay, next item, well, we're gonna, so subcommittee reports, does anybody have any subcommittee reports? Town manager report?
Yep, so just a couple quick things. Just a reminder that the Thursday concert series at Hernevitz Park is still ongoing. On let's see here, August 1st, the FY25 quarter one real estate and personal property tax bills are due. On August 6th, the Palmer Police Department is hosting the annual night out, and that's from 6 to 8. And then from 8/5 and through 8/9, August 5th through the 9th, Palmer Recreation is hosting the Rising Stars Basketball Clinic. So if anyone has a child who's interested in joining, you can find more information about that on the Palmer Rec page. The last coat is going down on Duke Field. So the thought on that is probably within, by the end of next week, we need a good stretch of weather, which does not look like it's going to happen at the end of this week. So possibly next week, the final coat will go down and it'll be open for the public to go walk and have events up there if you choose. Let's see here. And then the last note is Building Bridges is offering a free lunch for all veterans and one guest. And it's sponsored by AMVETS, and this will be hosted at AMVETS, excuse me. It's a free program, and again, it's for any veteran and one guest. It does not have to be a Palmer-specific resident. You can be from out of town, and that's on Friday, July 12th from 12 to 1:30. It's a trial. If it goes well, we'll look to have this every month, if not more. And again, there's no cover. It's absolutely free, and it's sponsored by Building Bridges.
Any questions for Brad? Okay. Correspondence, anybody? Counselors Roundtable? Anybody?
I guess, as I spotted out before, I would love to have some time of discussion on being able to use ARPA money. I know, I think I had seen in the list at one time we used $50,000 towards helping for home fuel oil. I would like to see it doubled. To me, this money was, to help people out through the COVID and all of this and that, and businesses, and to at least have something there to help the people out that,
Okay.
can use assistance with some home fuel oil.
Okay.
Especially now that it's everything in life is doubled.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, so we have council reorganization now. So just as a reminder, so Brad will call for nominations for council president, and then we will move forward. If there's more than one nomination, then we will do a ballot where everyone will write their choice on the ballot, sign it. It's not a secret ballot because then they're going to be read, and then those will be passed on to Marlene. So, Brad.
All right, so I'll take a nomination for the chair.
I nominate Barbara for president.
Any second?
Second.
Discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'll do the rest.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so, take nominations for vice president. I'll move Jessica.
Second.
Any other nominations? All in favor? And I will open nominations for council clerk. And I will move Mark.
Second.
Any other nominations? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Thank you. And do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, good night.
Good night.